So today we're going to talk about how to communicate your health needs and boundaries in ways that actually strengthen your connections instead of damaging them. So if you've ever felt guilty about prioritizing your health, worried about disappointing others, or struggled to express your needs clearly, this video is for you. So let me share a quick story about a client named Elena. She came to me exhausted, dealing with adrenal fatigue, but still saying yes to every single social invitation out there because she was afraid of damaging her relationships. When she did try to decline an invitation, she said something like, "I know it's selfish, but I just can't come to your dinner party on Saturday. I've been so exhausted lately and I need to rest." Did you catch what happened there? She labeled her legitimate needs as selfish and essentially apologized for listening to her body. 3 months after implementing the communication strategies I'm going to share with you today, Elena wasn't physically healthier. Her relationships were actually deeper and more authentic than before. The key wasn't whether she set boundaries, but how she communicated them. So let's start by addressing the big myth. Many of us believe that relationships thrive through constant availability and self-sacrifice. But here's the thing. Research consistently shows the opposite. Relationships without boundaries lead to resentment, burnout, eventually disconnection. Dr. Brené Brown's research actually really reveals something powerful. It states that clear is kind, unclear is unkind. So when we fail to communicate our health boundaries clearly, either by not expressing them at all or by couching them in unapologetic language, we create confusion that ultimately undermines trust. And there was a 2021 study that said that relationships with clearly communicated boundaries showed higher levels of satisfaction and longevity than those without. And the Gottman Institute's research demonstrates that unexpressed needs lead to what they call emotional flooding, overwhelming negative emotions that damage relationship foundations over time. The 4 components of effective boundary scripts are crucial. And after working with hundreds of clients on healthy boundary communication, I've identified 4 essential components that make boundary scripts both effective and relationship preserving. So first, clear, non-apologetic statements. Effective boundary scripts begin with clear statements that don't include apologies or having needs. Instead of saying, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stay at the party late anymore," try, "I'll be leaving the party at 9 p.m. to honor my sleep schedule." Notice how that second statement simply presents the boundary as a normal expected part of life rather than a disruption or an imposition. Number 2, brief, relevant context without overjustification. Providing a brief explanation helps others understand your boundary without defensive overjustification. The key really is offering context, so not just justification. Instead of a long explanation about your elimination diet, medical history, and symptoms, simply say, "Hey, I'm currently identifying food sensitivities to manage my health, so I'm being careful about what I eat right now." Third, positive alternative when appropriately declining an invitation request. Offering an alternative shows your commitment to the relationship while maintaining your boundary. So instead of saying like, "Hey, I can't make it to your workout class. My energy is really low right now," you can try, "My energy is focused on gentle movement right now, so I won't be joining the high intensity class. I'd love to meet for a walk by the riverside if you're interested," or in my case, the beach. Fourth, forward-looking close end your boundary script with a statement that reinforces that your boundary supports the relationship rather than restricting it. So instead of saying, "So yeah, that's why I can't do coffee mornings anymore," try, "Hey, I look forward to finding times to connect that work well for both of us." This subtle shift actually changes the emotional tone from limitation to possibility. That's huge. You could even look into social dining situation. This approach might sound like, "Hey, I'll be bringing my own food to the gathering to support my current health protocol I'm on. I'm excited to focus on the conversation and connection rather than worrying about ingredients and what I eat. I want to take away energy from that. Family meal pressure might be a big one. Hey, I appreciate the love, Mom, that goes into your cooking. My body needs specific foods right now as I work on my health. I'd love to learn this recipe from you when I'm able to expand my diet again. What about early departures from events when you're just tired or burnt out? So you could say something like, hey, I'm going to be leaving at 8:30 tonight to honor my sleep schedule, which has been really supportive for my health. I'm so glad I could be there for you for the first part of the evening to celebrate with you. How's that feel? What about for declining last minute invitations? That can be kind of a pressure one. That's kind of a big one for me. What if you said something like, hey, I've structured my week to include necessary recovery time, so I won't be able to join tonight. I'd love to plan something for next week when I can be fully present and energized for our time together. What about for group fitness modifications? I'll be modifying some of the exercises today to honor where my body is right now. Hey, listen, I'm grateful to work out alongside all of you while doing what's best for my current needs. We pressure sometimes for how we show up for workout classes with our friends. What about for information and digital boundaries? Listen, I appreciate your interest in my health journey. I'm being intentional about the health information I discuss and consume right now. Listen, I would love to talk to you about the book, movie, trip, whatever you mentioned instead. So I'm going to share with you some examples of how these communication strategies have transformed real relationships for some of my clients. I referred to Maya a lot in our content this month. Go back to her. She had newly diagnosed celiac disease and faced weekly family dinners where her grandmother really took a lot of pride in feeding everyone. Instead of continuing to risk her health, though, or skipping these important gatherings, she used the following script. Like, hey, Grandma, your cooking has always been so amazing, how you show love, and I treasure that, I really do. But I've recently learned that gluten causes my body significant harm, so I need to be completely gluten-free. I'd love to come early next time Sunday to cook alongside you, maybe, and learn how to adapt some of your recipes in ways that are safe for me. This health change is an opportunity for us to create new traditions together. There's always a way around it. What was amazing that the result wasn't just accommodation, but transformation. Her grandmother became her most fierce advocate, researching gluten-free cooking and creating new recipes together. Their relationship actually deepened through this boundary, which you're going to find is really the case. So even with skillful communication, you might encounter resistance to your health boundaries. That's normal. Remember that resistance often reflects other people's discomfort with change rather than a problem with your boundary. So here are 3 strategies for navigating resistance while preserving relationships. First, the gentle broken record technique. I love this one. So when faced with pushback, calmly restate your boundary without escalating or apologizing. Listen, I understand you're disappointed. As I mentioned, I need to leave by 9 p.m. to support my health right now. Or secondly, acknowledge the impact without compromising. Recognize how your boundary affects others without taking responsibility for their reaction. That's key. I can see this change is difficult for you in our usual routine. I appreciate your patience as I prioritize my health needs while finding new ways for us to connect. I'll try this one on for size number 3. Use bridge statements that acknowledge both their concern and your boundary as important. I understand that team dinner is important for building camaraderie, and I need to honor my food requirements to stay well. Perhaps we could choose a restaurant with options that work for both of us and everyone else next time. Remember that other people's responses to your boundaries are information about them. It's not about the validity of your needs, okay? And with practice, most relationships actually adjust to clear, compassionate boundaries. And the ones that can't may not be serving your well-being. It's a wake-up call. And as we embrace this season of growth and renewal, I want to invite you to experiment with clear, compassionate boundary communication. Notice how relationship quality shifts when you express your needs without apology, but with care and connection. And remember that boundary communication, like any skill, develops through practice. Start with lower stakes situations and build your confidence gradually. Your health needs are not impositions on your relationships, but rather invitations to greater authenticity within them. And when communicated clearly and with compassion, boundaries don't separate you from others. They actually create healthy space from which true connection